app we've built so far in SvelteKit is pretty impressive, but it really does put the single page in single page app. In this video, we'll create more pages and show how the file-based routing works in SvelteKit. So let's start by making a new route. We're going to go to the routes folder and we're going to create a new file. It's going to be in the hello directory, and then it's going to be in plus page.svelte in the hello directory. And we'll just say hello. And we'll go to the hello route, and there we go. So what made this work? So we are in the hello folder under the routes folder, and then we do plus page.svelte. And you'll notice here we have plus page.svelte directly under routes, and that's defining our index route. So the pattern is, it's the folder name, and that's the URL. There are some variations to this pattern, but first let's see what doesn't work. So let's say we try to do plus about.svelte. This will not work. It says files prefixed with plus are reserved. If we look at the SvelteKit documentation, we'll see that we can have plus page, plus error, plus layout, and plus server. And those are the only plus names that we can do. Everything else will throw that error that we saw. So to make this about page work, we will need to rename it to about/plus page.svelte. So this error is now removed, and if we put this in and go here, it will show it. And we'll also need to see that if we rename this to remove the plus, then it no longer knows that the page is there. It just thinks that we have a random file called page, just like we have something called generations and monster here. So let's go ahead and add that plus back and see what else we can do. So we've seen down here that we have the plus page.svelte as well as the plus page.ts. And so here we can have our loader as well as, we'll see later, actions. And so we could add a loader to about. So let's go ahead and do plus page.ts. We'll do export const load, and we'll just go ahead and do no arguments now, and we'll just return a object here, and we'll do the about and put that string there. Then in our plus page.svelte for about, we can put in a script and make sure that it is TypeScript, because that's how our project is. And then we'll import the page data, and we can export const data and make sure that we know that it's page data. And we actually need to have this let data. It doesn't like it when it's const because the page data can be loaded asynchronously. All right, so now we can go ahead and use this data. So data.about, there we go. So this is how we are using the plus page.ts and the plus page.svelte. And if you've been watching this entire series, part of that was review, but everything from now on should be new. So first thing to see is that this .page.ts can be renamed to .page.server.ts. And we'll see that it throws an error here at first, but we rerun it, and now we still get this data. And so the reason we want to do this is if we are wanting to use an API key or run something on the server that we don't want to send to the client. The next type of SvelteKit routing file is the error. So let's say we throw an error here. Normally we just get a 500, right? But if we are using our plus error routes, so we'll do it plus error.svelte, then we can have a customized message here. This can be really helpful for your users, and we'll show more of it in a later video. The next thing that we'll show is the layouts route file. So if you do plus layout.svelte, then what that does, so here we see howdy right there, and notice that this overwrote everything that we've done so far. what we need to do is put a slot in our layout file, and now it's showing everything. Let's go ahead and remove this error, and now we see that we've got the About page. But this layout is not just in the About page, it's also in the Hello page and in the Index page. So a layout wraps around everything. We'll be using a layout in the next video to create a navigation bar up here to take us to all our different pages. Now let's look at some nesting. So we have our About page. What if we add a new file in a subfolder, so me plus page.svelte. This page is about me. All right, so if we go to /about, it will not show it, of course, but if we go to about/me, it will show this. It will not show what we have in plus page.svelte. And we can go down as many as we want. And as far as we want, it's not a good idea to do super nested just because it's confusing, but you can if you need it. And of course, we can do layouts around all of this as well. So we can do a layout.svelte at the about layer and say about layout. So notice that it has the howdy from the wrapping layout right here around everything. And then we have a slot where it has the me, and then we can do footer stuff here. All right, see it all being added in? Finally, for this video, we're going to be showing how to make variables in the URL. So here we will replace me with subject. And so the first thing you'll see is we can do me about Mel, and it's showing the same thing. About them, still showing the same thing. And that's because everything is being matched to about and then the wildcard. But here we can change this so that we are using the page parameters. So we get the data from that parameter. We'll import page from app stores, and once again, we'll be talking about what stores are later in this course. But for now, what we need to know is that we have the page.params.subject. And this will make it so that, so I think we need to do $page here. Good, now it says this page is about them. We can change it back to me. This page is about me. So I know this has been a lot, but I guarantee you that all the most important stuff we will cover in other videos in more detail as we are using it in our app. I just wanted to give you a large overview of what was possible with the SvelteKit router. So to review, we have pages which have plus page.svelte as well as plus page.ts or JS if you're using JavaScript, as well as the plus page.server.ts version of that. And then you have layouts, which can be in different folders, and those can nest, and we can have parameters as part of our URLs. You can also have custom error messages, and those are on a per route basis. And as a bonus, let's go ahead and look at what happens now when we throw this error when we are in a layout. So let's go ahead and go to /about, and look, we have the howdy layout, that's around everything. We have the about layout, that's around the about, and then we have the error. So that is interesting, and we'll need to keep that in mind as we're creating stuff in the future. So that is the basic overview, and I'll see you next time when we use some of this to create our navigation bar.